Okay, here's a quick video which is going to specifically focus on how to add and manage alt text on images in PowerPoint. So this is quite a key aspect of digital accessibility because basically screen readers need to be able to get to a text description of an image in a PowerPoint presentation in order to read that back to a user who is relying on screen readers to access the content. Okay, so this is really important, and failure to do this means that not only does that user, student, whoever, not only are they unable to access it, but they may even have grounds to complain. So it's very simple to do, and it's actually quite good fun too. So if you get Office 365 installed, it will include the latest version of PowerPoint, which is PowerPoint 365. And here it is on the screen. And the first thing to do is go to the Review panel and click on Check Accessibility. Okay, just click on that and then click Check Accessibility. And you will notice a panel will appear on the right there with some options. Now, I've made 4 slides so far for this very short presentation about cats. And I've put a couple of images in already. And you can see that the accessibility checker on the right there, which incidentally I've got this box ticked here to keep it running whilst I work, so it will automatically keep pestering me and checking to make sure the stuff that I'm creating is accessible, which is a really good feature. And as you can see, it is pestering me already. It's got a few things it doesn't like. So let's move on to the second slide first of all, where I've got this. Cats come in all shapes and sizes. Here are 2 examples. I've deposited 2 images into this slide, and the accessibility checker on the right has already picked up the fact that these do not have alt text, alternative text. So if you click on the right panel here and drop this down, you'll see some options. You want to click on the first option, add a description. So there's no text, alt text, and we want to add something. So this is well, it's a domestic cat, isn't it? And one thing to bear in mind is you want basically to describe this as if somebody who, for example, was blind couldn't see the cat image, and what's the best description you can give them so that they understand what it is. Sounds simple, but you do need to think about exactly what you write here. So, for example, one example could be here: close-up photograph. Excuse the typos. Photograph. Of a ginger cat's face, for example. That could work. And then basically I can click on the cross in the top right corner and it will accept that alt text, and that particular issue will go away. However, just before I do that, I've copied that text and just cut it a minute. There's also this option for it to generate alt text for me, and it basically analyzes that image and it tries to intelligently give me some appropriate alt text. Let's click it. Sometimes this is hilarious, sometimes it's incredibly accurate. So let's go. What's it going to do? A close-up of a cat. And it also adds the fact that it's been automatically generated for you. Now, yeah, that's not bad, is it? I could live with that, but I think mine was slightly better, so I'm going to put mine in. Just wanted to highlight that feature exists, and as I say, there is varying degrees of accuracy when you use that. Sometimes it's amazing, sometimes it's laughable. I'm going to just click the cross, having put my description back in. You'll notice that the option there on the menu has disappeared because it's happy, but it still doesn't like the fact that this tiger doesn't have an alt text. So I'm going to go in and repair that. I'm going to drop the arrow down, I'm going to add a description, and let's generate it this time. What does it say? A tiger swimming in water. That's brilliant. I'm going to get rid of the last bit, I don't think I need that, but I'm happy with that. And I'm going to click the cross again. You'll notice both of those have now disappeared. You'll notice also there's something else here. Straight connector 4. It's reporting something weird here. So we'll come on to that in a minute. Before I do that, I just want to show you something else. I'm going to go to slide 3. I started creating here something about me. This is me. I like cats, I like hats. I'm a cat-loving, hat-loving kind of guy. And I wanted to just drop in an image of me. I've got one I prepared earlier. Here it is. So I'm going to you can actually drag images in. I'm going to drop that in. And you'll notice something's happened there, look. Not only does it give me some weird design ideas on the right, which I'm going to completely ignore incidentally, but at the bottom it's actually automatically added alt text for me. A person wearing a red hat. That's not bad, is it? I could edit that if I wanted, but I'm going to leave that because I quite like it. Now the reason it's created alt text on this occasion is because there's a setting you can change to make it do this for you. I'll show you where that is. I'm going to just close the design ideas down and the accessibility. I'll just resize this slightly as well while we're here because it's a bit too big. Put that over there. Okay, so I'm going to just align that, say, here. Now then, I closed down the accessibility panel, so it's gone for now. If I now click on review, I get this check accessibility button back. If I drop that down and go to options accessibility, there's a few things in here that you can fiddle with and adjust in terms of the accessibility. So one is to keep it running while I work. I always have that on. I've recently been experimenting with the sound. By default, I think that's off. But I actually quite like it. It gives you little beeps and blips that are not too intrusive, but just, it just sort of tells you that it's doing stuff and reporting stuff. So it's kind of useful, actually. I don't change the display options here, but at the bottom, automatic alt text. Basically, I've got this ticked, so it will automatically generate alt text for me. I can untick it if I want to, and it won't try and automatically do alt text. But generally speaking, I think it's a good idea to have this. It gives you the prompt. You can still, edit it and do your own, but it stops you from forgetting to do anything at all. So I would recommend having that on. And with that on, that's why we got the alt text for that. Now you also, rather than running the accessibility checker, you can just right click on any image in PowerPoint and go edit alt text, and you just get that same window. Look, a person wearing a red hat, and it's telling me that it's automatically generated this with medium confidence, which is interesting. Lets the user know that this might not be that accurate, or it might be very accurate. I'm going to remove that though. I don't want them to see that on this occasion. I'm going to change this to a photograph of me wearing a red hat. There we go. I'm going to close that down. So we're getting there. Now I'm going to go back to what we were looking at earlier, and I'm going to just click on check accessibility and check accessibility to bring the panel back up. It was this one here. So this, at the moment, this presentation is looking really good. It's very accessible, all except for one thing. Let's click on it and see what it says. So basically, I've used a shape as a very chunky underline for this slide, and PowerPoint classes this shape as an image, and I haven't put any alt text on that. Now I could add a description, and I could say something like, thick blue underline, but that wouldn't be good practice, because in this case, this is really just a decorative image. This doesn't really give you any extra information. If your screen reader didn't read that out, it wouldn't really matter. In fact, it would be quite distracting for it to say, the great outdoors, a thick 5 pixel deep underline blue bar. It would just be nonsense. So this is a good example where you can say mark as decorative. And what it basically does is it marks that image as something that doesn't need an alt tag. And it won't pester me about that in future. It knows now to ignore that one. And now you can see that there are no accessibility issues found. So the alt tags in this very short presentation are now fine and good. Don't forget, you can always come back in the future and basically edit alt tags. You can remove images altogether. You can drop new ones in, and if you've got that option selected, it will probably try and create an alt tag for you. But that is a little presentation in a nutshell on alt tag in PowerPoint.